Hello, friends. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to come to you today with my latest epiphany at the end of this chapter, and now that we're moving on. And this one is a doozy. And I am also a little scatterbrained because we are moving this morning, and I still have zero idea where we're going. I'm not even joking. But this came to me, and so I'm very excited about this. And I have written it down because, like I said, my head's all over the place. So they say that sometimes God has better plans for you than you could even imagine. And I feel like this is one of those situations. I woke up this morning thinking about Clementine and my grandmother and their relationship and how cute and funny they were, and the things that they loved to do together, which were incidentally things like Clementine loved to sit in my grandmother's lap and my grandmother would pet her all day, all night, kind of like when she and I were in the car. My grandmother would play ball for Clementine all day. They would play in the living room. They would play in the kitchen. They would play in the backyard. They played all the time, and they would play until my grandmother would fall asleep with the ball, and then Clementine would come and just drop it next to her hand. And they also loved, incidentally, to take naps together. And I was thinking about if my grandmother was in any sort of good shape at all, she would still be able to at least pet Clementine and take naps with her. And that would be like if she was in not that great shape. And that was something that I always thought about that in a clinical way. I used to get so upset and think, like, I can't believe this woman would even take her mother away from her dog. Like, doesn't she know cognitively, I use cognitive all the time, but like, doesn't she know how much that means to a person with dementia, like an animal? Because that's the kind of heart-centered love that you really can't exchange anywhere else with that kind of freedom. Which incidentally brings me to my next point, is the best relationship that I've ever seen my grandmother have was between Clementine and her. Clementine and I loved her in a lot of very similar ways. We were both fiercely loyal and very protective, and both of us have a vicious mouthpiece. My words were probably as biting and like a clear and present danger to my grandmother the whole time that I was with her as Clementine's little nips would be. Like, imagine my mouthpiece, I've mentioned this before, is vicious as like a little Chihuahua dog. And my grandmother was the closest person to me, so I took it out on her a lot. And so it was nice to see that, like, even in nature, like, some people just, or inner, like, animals have to be part of their nature. But I also loved to see the thing that Clementine definitely had on me, and that is that she was way more patient than me. And I would say that everyone in my family, including the dumb lady who kidnapped her, and even my dad, were more patient with my grandmother than I was. And before, I mentioned this before in videos, I move really fast. Like, I don't even know that I have the capacity to be as patient as other people are with her. And when I've seen everybody, and I'm talking about even every single person who I talked, I didn't even talk bad about, but said things that might come across as negative about, one thing they all had on me, every one of them, they were more patient with my grandmother and everyone else, I think, than I was. And that's just my thing that I have had to come to terms with over the years, and I'm still working on it. And I will continue to do so until, I guess, I perish or get it right. But I really did love their relationship. And the idea that they could have that back is always, I guess it's been like a pipe dream. I think because this has been such a struggle for so long, the idea has been so far away. And this morning, it's closer. And that is all I have for now because I'm going to run out of time. But stay tuned for part 2.